So basically, when it comes to the public opinion battle of impeachment, um, public opinion wise, I don't know how it's going to play out. I think the new evidence Democrats brought out, the new tapes, are going to be pretty convincing to the general public, especially people in the middle that are like, I don't know if it's terrible. I don't know if it's uh, blown out of proportion. But the hard thing for the public opinion battle is actually tying the Capitol riots to Donald Trump. That makes it very difficult. I don't know if that's even possible. It's so hard. Not enough people pay attention to politics in general. When it comes to precedent, I think it sets a worse precedent to not impeach whatsoever than it does to impeach and have it fail. I think it's a much worse precedent that our government would get to the point where we wouldn't impeach over something like this. They should at least try and make the people who vote against it live in infamy when something goes really bad in the future or whatever. Um, yeah, definitely they should impeach, I guess. Public opinion is a toss up. You don't know what's going to happen with it. If anything, not enough people are going to care about it to really change any minds whatsoever. But precedent wise, I think it's good. Politically, does it really help Trump? I don't think so. If anything, the one thing about Trump that has helped him is his lack of speaking, and this has hurt the Democrats. So, Trump being removed from Twitter, many people don't consider this very often, but Trump being removed from Twitter and Facebook may have helped him a lot in this scenario. Out of sight, out of mind. So, since Donald Trump isn't tweeting every day and isn't on Facebook every day yelling at people, saying really crazy conspiracy theories and encouraging violence, now Americans tend to forget about his existence. So now when they try to tie the Capitol mobs and riots to Trump, it makes the job even more difficult. So Trump being banned from Twitter, Trump not being heard from the past 3 weeks, is probably by design, by the Trump campaign. They know that he shouldn't be speaking whatsoever until after the impeachment. So expect that Donald Trump will be back front and center after this impeachment trial is over, speaking back into the public limelight, and everybody's going to have to deal with him yet again. I think that's the only reason we're not hearing about him right now is because he knows if he would come out, then, they're talking about the Capitol riots, they're showing footage of the Capitol riots, but wait, there's no Trump present to compare that to. Wait, Trump isn't in the public mind right now. So everybody's looking at the riots. They're agreeing this is all crazy, but they're like I said 10 times, they aren't connecting it directly to Trump, which really hurts the idea that impeachment is going to do good. Trump also has criminal charges coming up, so I'm pretty excited about that one. The impeachment within itself is still a consequence. I mean, when you look at our government, the precedents do matter. I do agree that it would be cool to let him fade into obscurity, but we know that isn't happening. So I feel like we do need to keep our guard up. We need to be ready to fight this, as we all say. I'm not saying the people in Congress are exactly the best anti-fascist in the world, but you can't vote that out. You can't vote Trump out. So like this fight right now, imagine the impeachment is just another continuation of the same old fight we've been fighting. This impeachment is not a normal impeachment. We're doing it for precedent. We're doing it to continue the fight against these far right ideologies. And even if we can't tie Trump to it, there is Ted Cruz, there is Josh Hawley. We are trying to tie. And this is a point I actually forgot to bring up. The Democrats did say they have a strategy of tying the Republican Party to being the QAnon party. So like Marjorie Taylor Greene or whatever, her party. So this might work for that endeavor. So Republicans tie, even if you can't tie Trump to the Capitol riots, tie the Republican Party as a whole to the Capitol riots, make them own up to it, make them go on the defense for once. So I actually do think, now that I thought through it in a better way, I think what I just did right now is actually a much better way to think through it than I've actually done so far. It does make a lot of sense politically because it's bigger than Trump. You're not focusing on Trump. The biggest reason to impeach isn't for Trump. I wasn't thinking like this before, but I do think that is a pretty correct way to look at it, honestly.